and welcome to Follow the Money. I'm Raine Musñgi. Join us as we explore the tools and insights you need to jumpstart your financial journey. Currency trading in the Philippines is canceled for a second day due to the suspension of government work in Luzon following severe tropical storm Christine. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas announces that its monetary operations will also remain closed. Several flights have been canceled due to the adverse weather conditions as Christine continues to bring heavy rains and flooding, with the Bicol region being the hardest hit. National disaster officials are in the process of confirming at least 7 deaths attributed to the storm. Suspended currency trading and closed monetary operations create some uncertainty in the marketplace. Businesses relying on timely transactions and import-export activities are likely to face delays. The interruption in air travel is also seen to affect supply chains and logistics. The Municipal Social Welfare and Development Office of Lingayen reported 113 families in evacuation centers. Joining us on the line for more on that is Richard Tong from the NDR-RMO of Lingayen, Pangasinan. Good morning, Mr. Tong.
Hello, ma'am. Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Can you give us an idea how many people have been affected, any casualties, those evacuated and stranded?
Yes, ma'am. As of this moment, ma'am, our initial report on our evacuees are now on 133 families, about 397 individuals in the municipality of Lingayen.
Do you have any casualties, fatalities, injured?
So far, ma'am, municipality of Lingayen has no casualty at this moment.
Currently, sir, what is the weather like in Lingayen, Pangasinan? What are you experiencing?
Still, Lingayen is still experiencing gusty winds and with scattered rain showers in the municipality.
Are there any dams or any bodies of water under threat of overflowing?
So far, ma'am, dams are open, one gate, San Roque Dam. So we're still monitoring our river lines. But from the report, the water came from the sea, which is the reported storm surge on our coastal municipal barangays.
In the NDR-RMO and the police and local civil officials, how many people are deployed and monitoring how many residents in total in Lingayen?
A total of 42 personnel in our LDRMO Lingayen, and I think all personnel in PNP, about 84 personnel, is also on full blast. Also, our BSP Lingayen is also in full blast, about 97 personnel. Also, our SWDO is also in a full blast, about 84 personnel. And from BDMO also is also full blast monitoring the municipality of Lingayen because of the adverse effects of the storm surge advisory from the park.
What about power, water, and mobile services? Do you experience continuous services there?
Yes, ma'am. The municipality of Lingayen also experienced power interruption because of the strong winds, and also the level of water is getting high on the coastal barangays. So some of the barangays experience power interruption.
What about water, cell phone services?
Water is still no interruption, and communication is still functioning.
Okay. What about roads? Are there any areas or roads or bridges that are impassable or destroyed?
Yes, ma'am. The Lingayen Bay Walk Road is still unpassable for the light vehicles as of this moment.
Are there areas that have been completely inundated by floods and require rescuing?
Yes, ma'am. Our coastal barangays from Barangay Pangapisan North, Barangay Manibok, Barangay Poblacion, Libsong West, and Libsong East, inundated by flood water. And we conducted a rescue operation since 10 p.m. until now, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Are there any missing persons that have been declared?
As so far, ma'am, no missing person reported to us.
Mm-hmm. And then is Lingayen about to declare a state of calamity, or is that under discussion?
Still, the declaration of state of calamity is under consultation and assessment. Is the municipality of Lingayen is needed to declare the state of calamity.
Are there any agricultural areas that have been completely wiped out because of severe tropical storm Christine?
As of this moment, ma'am, none. We are still validating the report, but so far, ma'am, no report.
Understood. What about, how long are the evacuees going to stay in those evacuation centers? Are supplies enough for them for today and tomorrow? And then have you received any kind of support from the national or provincial government?
Still, ma'am, our supplies is enough for 2 to 3 days to accommodate our evacuees, but unfortunately, we can no longer support if they stay longer on the evacuation.
Understood. Well, we will continue to monitor conditions there in Lingayen, Pangasinan, especially where the San Roque Dam is concerned, and those areas that have been completely inundated and with possible rescues pending. Thank you so much for joining us today, Richard Tong from the NDR RMO of Lingayen, Pangasinan. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and take care.
Take care, sir. On to business news now. Boeing reported a third quarter loss of more than $6 billion just as it awaits a decision of striking factory workers whether they would accept a contract offer Wednesday and end a walkout that has crippled the company's airline production for nearly 6 weeks. This is the latest setback for the plane maker, which has struggled to fix production issues with the 737 MAX and meet delivery targets. Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg tells the Associated Press there is a need for a culture change and for improving performance in its defense business and its 737 MAX and 777 programs, while broadly stabilizing Boeing, which is at a crossroads after lapses in its performance, disappointed customers, and eroded trust. Ortberg's call to arms follows sweeping plans for significant downsizing announced earlier this month as a strike by about 33,000 workers that has dragged on for more than a month hit production of its best-selling wide bodies.
I still voted to reject the contract just because I feel like I would like a larger wage increase. I think the way they have it set up to get 12%, then 8% over the course of 4 years it's kind of dumb. I feel like upfront 25% and maybe a larger gratification bonus from all the time we lost not working would maybe lean me towards voting yes. But as of right now, I think we have the upper hand on Boeing, and it's good to just keep looking for something better.
A Boeing-made satellite has broken up in space, causing a total loss that is affecting communications across Europe, Africa, and the Asia-Pacific region. Intelsat, the operator of the satellite named IS-33E, confirmed the incident, impacting customers around the world. This is another blow for Boeing, which is already facing multiple crises, including labor strikes and issues with its Starliner spacecraft. Meanwhile, Goldman Sachs and Apple are being hit with a huge fine of $89 million. The U.S. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau says they violated consumer protection laws in the management of Apple Card accounts. Reports show that customers complained about mismanaged payments, poor customer service, and even improper charge reversals. Goldman and Apple have agreed to pay the fine but have not admitted any wrongdoing. This case is part of a broader crackdown by U.S. regulators on financial misconduct. TSMC is under pressure tonight after a U.S. lawmaker demanded answers about the sale of chips to Chinese tech giant Huawei. U.S. Representative Michael Gallagher is calling for an investigation into whether the chips violate U.S. trade sanctions. Chips were found in Huawei's new Mate 60 Pro, a device that's raising eyebrows for its advanced tech, something that should be out of reach due to U.S. curbs. TSMC, which relies heavily on U.S. technology, has not yet commented, but any violations could have serious consequences for its operations in the U.S., while this investigation could impact the future of U.S.-China tech trade relations. In a new security report, Microsoft says Chinese state actors are engaged in a sophisticated influence campaign targeting the U.S. elections, this time focusing on local down-ballot races. The operation seeks to divide American voters by using fake accounts and social media to stir up controversy on issues like gun control and immigration. Microsoft's report comes as concerns about foreign interference continue to grow ahead of the 2024 elections. U.S. officials say they're working to mitigate the threats, but this campaign marks a shift from national races to local ones, making it harder to detect. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says President Joe Biden's trade curbs on China have stopped what he calls another China shock. Speaking at an event in Washington, Sullivan said the restrictions on high-tech exports like semiconductors have helped protect American industry and national security. The Biden administration's approach is focused on limiting China's access to advanced technology while strengthening domestic manufacturing. But critics say these policies are escalating tensions with Beijing, potentially putting U.S. businesses at risk. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi agreed to boost communication and cooperation between their countries and resolve conflicts to help improve ties that were damaged by deadly military clashes in 2020. The two leaders met on the sidelines of the BRICS summit in Russia Wednesday for their first formal talks in 5 years. The agreement is signaling that ties between the Asian giants have begun to recover from the diplomatic rift caused by the clash along the disputed Himalayan frontier.
We believe that India's relations with China is not only important for us, it is important for world peace, stability, and development as well. We welcome the agreements made on cross-border issues that have come up in the past 4 years. We must prioritize peace and stability on the borders. Part English. Mutual trust, mutual respect, and mutual sensitivity should be the basis of our relationship.
Xi, meanwhile, pushed for more development among its members.
As the world enters a new period defined by turbulence and transformation, we are confronted with pivotal choices. Should we allow the world to descend into the abyss of disorder and chaos? Or should we strive to steer it back on the path of peace and development? The more tumultuous our times become, the more we must stand firm at the forefront, exhibiting tenacity, demonstrating the audacity to pioneer, and displaying the wisdom to adapt, so as to jointly write a new chapter of high-quality development of greater BRICS cooperation.
The battle for India's satellite broadband market is heating up as two of the world's richest men, Elon Musk and Mukesh Ambani, prepare to face off. India's government just announced that satellite spectrum for broadband will be allocated administratively, not through auctions, further escalating this contest. Musk's Starlink already has over 6,400 satellites in orbit, serving 4 million subscribers in 100 countries. But in India, it's been a rough ride. Regulatory hurdles have delayed Starlink's entry into the Indian market since 2021. Ambani's Reliance Jio, India's telecom giant, is also racing to dominate the space. Ambani controls 80% of the country's telecom market. His company has invested billions in airwave auctions and has partnered with Luxembourg-based satellite operator SES Astra to bring medium Earth orbit satellite internet to India. According to ICRA, nearly 40% of India's 1.4 billion people still lack internet access, especially in rural areas. Satellite broadband could bridge that gap, with subscriber numbers projected to reach 2 million by 2025. Tech analysts say this fight is more than just about internet access. It's about shaping the future of India's digital economy. More news on Elon Musk. Tesla shares are up after the electric vehicle maker reported strong third-quarter profits. The company, led by the world's richest man, Elon Musk, announced a profit of $2.17 billion from July to September. That's an increase from the $1.85 billion profit in the same period last year. This boost comes as Tesla's quarterly electric vehicle sales rose for the first time this year. On Wednesday, Tesla shares jumped 7%, adding nearly $50 billion to its market value. Meanwhile, Nigeria's anti-corruption agency has dropped money laundering charges against a top executive at Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange. Tigran Gambarian, who was in charge of financial crime compliance, has been released to seek urgent medical treatment abroad. Gambarian was accused of laundering over $35 million through Binance, but both he and the company denied all charges. The Nigerian government blamed Binance for contributing to economic instability, claiming the platform played a role in the recent collapse of Naira, Nigeria's local currency. Gambarian had been held at the Kuje Correctional Center in Abuja since April, where his family reported that his medical condition, a herniated disc, had worsened. This prompted multiple bail requests that were denied, as the court considered him a flight risk, especially after his colleague Nadeem Anjarwala escaped while under house arrest. Although charges against Gambarian have been dropped, the Nigerian government will continue pursuing tax evasion charges against Binance. The company has faced similar scrutiny in the U.S., where its founder, Changpeng Zhao, resigned and served a prison sentence for allowing money laundering on the platform. We're taking a breather. Stay tuned with us and follow the money. Welcome back. Singapore's sovereign wealth fund GIC and Macquarie are looking to sell their combined $2 billion stake in Energy Development Corporation, or EDC, one of the Philippines' largest renewable energy companies. Reuters reports the two groups are in early talks to divest, attracting interest from global investors amid growing demand for clean energy assets in Southeast Asia. EDC, a major player in geothermal energy, plays a critical role in the region's energy transition. In 2017, GIC and Macquarie partnered with Philippine firm First Gen to take EDC private for around $1.3 billion. The potential sale comes amid pressure on Asian countries to shift away from fossil fuels and boost clean energy output. This move could reshape the Philippine energy landscape, offering a window into the future of geothermal power investment. Analysts believe any deal could close as early as 2025. Meanwhile, in a major boost for Ukraine, the G7 and U.S. are just days away from finalizing a massive $50 billion loan to support the war-torn nation. The loan will be used to rebuild infrastructure and stabilize Ukraine's economy as it continues to face Russia's assault. European Union lawmakers approved the bloc's plan to use frozen Russian central bank assets to loan up to $38 billion to its ally Ukraine. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen called this a sign of long-term support and promised the West will stand by Ukraine. Britain announced on Monday it would lend Ukraine $2.9 billion in Ukraine's fight and rebuild plan.
Today, I'm able to announce £2.3 billion of support to Ukraine in the form of a loan that will be paid back by the extraordinary profits being made on frozen Russian assets. So this will ensure that Russian assets frozen in Europe that the extraordinary profits on that will be used to help fund the war effort in Ukraine.
The final G7 agreement is expected soon, a critical lifeline as the war continues to drain Ukraine's resources. European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde has a message for Donald Trump. Come and see for yourself how hard Jerome Powell's job really is. Lagarde was responding to Trump's latest criticism of the Fed chair, saying that if Trump had to deal with today's inflation, interest rates, and global uncertainties, he might gain a newfound respect for Powell. As the world faces persistent economic challenges, Lagarde's comments highlight the growing pressure central bankers are under to control inflation without stifling growth. Finally, since Israel began bombarding Beirut's southern suburbs as part of its offensive against the Hezbollah militant group, Lebanon's national air carrier has become a local icon simply by continuing to do its job. The Associated Press reports Middle East Airlines is the only commercial airline still operating out of the Beirut airport, located on the coast next to the densely populated suburbs where many of Hezbollah's operations are based. The airline has received assurances that Israel will not target its planes or the airport as long as they are used solely for civilian purposes. The carrier conducts a risk assessment each day to determine if it's safe to fly. Since the escalation began, many embassies have chartered extra commercial flights to get their citizens out. Other flights have carried Lebanese citizens to nearby destinations like Turkey and Cyprus to wait out the conflict. The number of daily MEA flights ranges from 32 to 40, not much below the usual number for this time of the year. The difference is, now the flights usually depart Beirut full and return 2/3 or 3/4 empty. Now, while many Lebanese have fled, others continue to fly in and out for business or family reasons. And again, the ranges of the flights have not dwindled. And that is it for today's edition of Follow the Money. I'm Raine Musñgi. Thank you so much for watching. Keep it here on BNC, the Billionaire News channel, always on top.